I am going to discuss another topic in the same unit, that is Prime Minister. Okay, na? So here in this topic, I'll discuss the important things about the Prime Minister. Now, first of all, who will appoint the Prime Minister? Is he elected or not? Now we'll see that. The President is the nominal executive authority. President is the nominal executive authority. Nominal executive authority. De jure executive, we call it as. De jure executive. And Prime Minister is the real executive authority. Remember, the Prime Minister is the real executive authority, de facto executive. That's why if you see the newses, everywhere the Prime Minister is there. But President rarely you can see in the newspapers. President rarely will appear in the newspaper, but President every day will appear, will talk with the different people of the country, right? Because is the real executive authority, right? Article 75 of the Indian Constitution mentioned that a Prime Minister who is appointed by President. So remember, who will appoint the Prime Minister? The President will appoint. As per the Article 75, who will appoint the Prime Minister? The President will appoint. Then Article 74(1) states that there shall be a Council of Ministers with a Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise the Prime Minister. So, there is a Council of Ministers like 10, 15, 20, depending on that, sometime 50, 60 also. To this Council of Ministers, the head is Prime Minister. Actually, the Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister main motto is to aid and advise to the President. Okay, to pass a bill into a law. So, they will see this bill which is correct and which is not correct, all these things. Then they will advise to the President to run a smooth government, right? So, what I am saying from this, who will appoint the Prime Minister? The President will appoint the Prime Minister. Who will appoint the Council of Ministers? The President. Who is the head for the Council of Ministers? The Prime Minister. Prime Minister with his Council of Ministers, main purpose is to aid and advise to the President. Now, is Prime Minister of India elected or appointed? Is Prime Minister of India elected or appointed? Now see here, the President of India appoints a person as a Prime Minister. So remember, the President of India appoints a person as a Prime Minister who is either a leader of the party which holds a majority of seats in the Lok Sabha. So after completion of elections, these elections are conducted by the Election Commission of India. After completion of elections, the majority party leader, generally the majority party leader will be the Prime Minister. Okay, the majority party leader in the Lok Sabha will be the Prime Minister. Who will appoint this Prime Minister? President will appoint the Prime Minister. But it is not compulsory. Don't think that only the elected person, only the Lok Sabha person will be the Prime Minister. It's not compulsory. Maybe from the Rajya Sabha also will become Prime Minister. From non-elected person also will become Prime Minister, but he can prove his confidence in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Especially in the Lok Sabha he can prove. Right. So, now listen. Or is a person who is able to win the confidence of Lok Sabha, able to win the confidence of Lok Sabha by gaining the support of other political parties. Suppose if there is no party became a majority party, sometimes 2-3 parties will collide, right, combine, then they will elect one person as a Prime Minister. The best example you can take, Dr. Manmohan Singh as a Prime Minister, right? He was elected actually from Rajya Sabha, but because of no majority, so Congress government, okay, allied with some other local parties and then elected as a prime minister for the prime minister post, Dr. Manmohan Singh. Right. Now, who is eligible to be a prime minister? Who is eligible to be a prime minister? Who is eligible to become a prime minister? The person must be a citizen of India and a member of either Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. Now you can see Dr. Manmohan Singh was actually from Rajya Sabha. Narendra Modi is from actually Lok Sabha. He should have completed his 30 years if he is a member of Rajya Sabha, or can be 25 years of age if he is a member of Lok Sabha. So remember, if he is from Rajya Sabha, definitely 30 years must be completed. If he is from Lok Sabha, definitely 25 years must be completed. So this is the eligibility criteria for to become a prime minister. Now, terms and salary, you can see here. Duration of the prime minister's term is not fixed. Okay, duration of the prime minister's term is not fixed, and they can hold the position at the pleasure of the president. So remember, duration of the prime minister term is not fixed. But this does not mean that president can remove the prime minister at any time. Don't think that the president can remove the prime minister at any time. It's not like that. Okay, as long as the prime minister maintains majority support in the Lok Sabha, the president cannot be dismissed. He cannot be dismissed by the president. So remember, okay, the prime minister don't have a particular term, tenure. He can hold the office with the pleasure of the president. But don't think that the president can remove at any time. No, it's not like that. If the prime minister maintains the confidence in the Lok Sabha, then he continue. The president do not have the power to remove that. Right. So that is the term. Now executive powers, you can see. The executive powers you can see here. The prime minister is the head of the Union Council of Ministers. So remember, the prime minister is the head of the Union Council of Ministers and is responsible for administration of the government. So who is the responsible for administration of the government? Prime minister is the responsible for the administration of the government. He presides over cabinet meetings and coordinates the activities of various ministers and departments. So, he is the head of the Council of Ministers or Cabinet Ministers. He will allocate different duties and responsibilities to the ministers. He will decide, he will coordinate with the different ministers. Right? He prepares the list of various important appointments like governors, judges, UPSC chairman and so on. See, what I said, who will appoint the governors? President will appoint the governor. But before that, the prime minister will recommend the president to appoint governor for a particular state. Not only governor, judges, Chief Justice of India, right, Chief Justice of High Court, other judges of Supreme Court and High Court, he will recommend. Right. So, he will prepare the list of various important appointments like governors, judges and UPSC chairmen. Now, you can see the legislative powers of the prime minister. Now, see here, fixes the programs of the parliament. He will fix the programs of the parliament, what to do, what not to do, like that. He will fix the programs of the parliament. Makes important policy statements in the parliament. So, he will make important policy statements in the parliament, either diplomatic statements, India with other countries, within the India, like different policy statements he will prepare, right? Defends the policies of the government in the parliament. So, some opposition parties will try to oppose these policies. So, in that case, he will defend these policies. He will try to execute the policies in the parliament. Director of the foreign policy. The prime minister is the director of the foreign policy. Director of Indian Economy, leader of the Lok Sabha, recommends dissolution of the Lok Sabha. So remember, in the previous case while explaining the president, I said the president dissolved the Lok Sabha, I said, right? But he can't directly dissolve the Lok Sabha, but he will dissolve the Lok Sabha with his recommendation, the Prime Minister recommendation. So Prime Minister will say that please dissolve the Lok Sabha to then immediately the president will dissolve that. Right. So recommends dissolution of the Lok Sabha. These are the legislative powers of the Prime Minister. Now see here the diplomatic powers of the Prime Minister. Representing India at high level international meetings, conferences and organizations like G20 summit, okay, like with the United Nations meetings, like some conferences or conferences like that. So in those cases, he will represent as a leader of India, okay, and negotiating with the foreign countries, right? Negotiating with the foreign countries with respect to the marketing, diplomatic things, right? Business oriented, otherwise like some other helping to the other countries, like we are getting suppose you can take, we are also sometimes importing some defense equipments with Russia, so definitely there must be negotiation required, right? So like that, negotiating with the foreign countries, advising the president during national emergency how to protect India's economy, India's security. Suppose if there is a war, so definitely we will advise the president, so definitely we should protect our country, right? So he will advise the president, especially in case of national emergency, right, to protect India's security, to protect India's economy, right? These are the diplomatic powers. Then appointment powers. Generally, the Prime Minister will not appoint, but he will recommend to the President to appoint so and so post, right? Now see here, the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers advises the President with respect to the following appointments. Now see here, judiciary, higher judiciary means Chief Justice of India and other judges of Supreme Court, Chief Justice of High Courts of all the states and other judges of High Courts. He will recommend. And the Governor of States, Chief Election Commission of India and Election Commission of States also, and COG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, then Attorney General of India. So these are the different officials appointed by the President, but the President will take recommendations by the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. Now, financial powers, right? Presenting the annual budget. So, the Prime Minister present the annual budget in front of the Lok Sabha with the help of Finance Minister. Responsible for the overall economic and financial management of the country. So, the Prime Minister is the responsible for the overall financial management and economy, right, with respect to the security of India. Reviewing government programs. So, government programs also he will review, means for this program how much amount of we should spend, right? Like that he will review the government programs. Now, the powers relating to the Council of Ministers, okay, we will see the powers relating to the Council of Ministers. Head of the Union Council of Ministers. So, the Prime Minister is the head of Union Council of Ministers. Then, recommending individuals for the appointment as a minister by the President. So, from the Lok Sabha or from the Raj Sabha, he will recommend some people to the President to appoint so and so minister, and assigning and reassigning portfolios among the ministers. So, among the ministers, he will assign like your Home Minister, your Finance Minister, your External Affairs Minister. He will decide. Okay, he will decide, and he will also change the portfolios. Asking for a minister's resignation or advising the president to dismiss them in case of conflicting of opinion. So suppose if a minister is moving against the prime minister decision, then definitely he will say that just resign your post, or he will say that he will ask the president to like remove his post, like that. So if there is any conflict of opinion, the prime minister has huge powers. He will decide, right? And presiding over meetings of council of ministers and influencing its decisions. So he'll sit, is the leader of council of ministers, right? He'll sit and he'll listen their words and he will take decisions. Guide, direct, control and coordinate the activities of all ministers. Okay, now guide, direct, control and coordinate the activities of all ministers, bringing about the collapse of the council of ministers by resigning from the office. So this is very important. If the prime minister resign, then council of ministers automatically should resign, because he is the head of the council of ministers. So that is the main important point, bringing about the collapse of the council of ministers by the resigning from office. So these are the powers with respect to the council of ministers. Now you can see with respect to the president, okay, what type of functions he has. Now see here, the prime minister serves as the primary means of communication between the president and council of ministers. On one side, council of ministers, on the other side, president. The prime minister is the mean for the communication between the president and council of ministers. Council of ministers prepare some policy statements and he'll explain to the prime minister. The prime minister convinces the president to get assent, right? It is the prime minister's responsibility to inform the president of all decisions made by the council of ministers regarding the administration of union affairs and legislative proposals, right? So it is the prime minister's responsibility to inform each and every point regarding the policy making, regarding the legislative laws or bills making, all these things. The prime minister provide guidance to the president in regard to the appointment of key officials. See, the prime minister provide guidance to the president. So he will give some recommendations to the president for the key officials like Attorney General of India, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Chairman and members of Union Public Service Commission, Election Commission Chairman and members, Finance Commission and others like governors, etc. So these are the functions related to the prime minister. So for your exam, from the prime minister, what type of questions they'll ask, like explain the powers of prime minister, right? Explain the powers of prime minister. This type of question they'll ask you. So if you remember some 7-8 points from all these powers, that is more than enough for your exam. So in a simple way, I'll give some powers. You just remember the powers. First one, the prime minister is head of the Union Council of Ministers. 1 point, simple basic point. Prime minister is the director of foreign policy, is the leader of Lok Sabha, right? He will negotiate with the foreign countries, right? He will represent India at higher international conferences or meetings. He will appoint CJI, Supreme Court, like Chief Justice of India and other judges, governors, High Court, Chief Justice and other judges, Chief Election Commission, COG of India, Attorney General of India. He presents annual budget every year. He will review the government programs and policies, right? Like that, if you give some 7-8 points, that is more than enough for your exam.